It is a small river town that does weekends better than most big cities. It's where wine country meets Main Street, and every block comes with a view of the Missouri River. Welcome into Destination Heartland this week. I'm Sharon Chen with KCTV5 News. Today we are taking a virtual trip to Washington, Missouri. So let's dig right in. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Lexi Phelps, and Lexi is Director of Tourism with the Washington Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Lexi, and thanks for joining us
Good to be
today.
here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for Destination Heartland. So let's start here. What makes Washington, Missouri such a unique destination in Missouri?
So I think that our town has like kind of the small town charm that you can see in a lot of different towns, but this one is just specifically we have the Katy Trail, we have a lot of areas around it that you can see the smaller towns. The Amtrak usually comes through here, so we get a lot of visitors from out of town trying to get away for the weekend. Um, we have just a lot of historical buildings, and we just have a few different, sites that people can come see. We also have the fair, which is a really big deal here, and we have a lot of events that are very community based, and we try to have something for everyone throughout the entire year.
I love it. And I love the fact that the Amtrak goes there, because that's kind of one of the best things is you don't have to drive, you just kind of hop on the train and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. We get a lot of people through here, um, and they use that consistently. So we really enjoy that. We also have like our mascot, which a lot of people don't know about, but we do have our mascot. It's Ollie the otter for the river runner that comes through on the Amtrak, and yeah, it is really nice. It is, and then I believe July 20th actually, one of the old larger trains are coming through. One of the oldest ones that they still have around.
Oh,
So
wow.
that'll be really interesting. Hoping for a big turnout for that as well.
Oh, yeah, that'll be really neat. Let's do this. Let's dig into the history of Washington. So let's talk about how the town got its start and maybe some of the key moments in the town's history.
Yeah. So I know that our town, I believe it was 1839 that it was founded, but it was basically a small group of German immigrants who settled here. They had come through here, and I think they settled a little bit outside of town away from the river, and eventually they moved more inward. And um, it's kind of interesting because the bridge here also, you would have expected that to be built earlier, but usually like ferry boats were used here until around 1936. And then in 1854 is when the first of the Bush brothers, they
Oh.
started brewing in Washington. So, and then we also have our corncob pipe factory, which is one of our what we're known for basically, because we're one of the corncob pipe capital of the world, which is really interesting.
That is cool. And I didn't know that Bush beer got its start there, too. That is so interesting. A lot of German heritage there, I imagine, because of the Germans coming there. There's a lot of German heritage there in town, I imagine, in its architecture and maybe foods, too. Just kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this whole area has a lot of German related, just pretty much everything. I know that we are very close. We're in between areas as well that have a lot of German heritage. With us, I know there's a ton of breweries, distilleries, wineries around this area. I know that there's a brewery downtown specifically that they have like a German plate, and they're very close to their heritage here. So, and then even if you take the train up to Herman, that area also, they continuously have throughout October. It's not Brewfest, it's Oktoberfest. So it is pretty deeply rooted within our community.
Yeah, Oktoberfest is always a big German holiday for sure.
Yes.
Let's talk about big attractions in town. So, when visitors come to Washington, just tell us about some of the big, like, you can't miss attractions.
Yeah, so we have quite a few. We work with Downtown Washington Incorporated as well here. So currently, we just had our Art and Wine Fest, which was really cool. That went all weekend. We had vendors here. We had different types of wine for people to try. You could do like a sip and savor bar. They had live music. It's one of our big events that we do. We also have other ones as well, like music at the market, Brewfest. I know earlier in the year we had like a Creole Fest, and then coming up in August is one of our most important, which would be the Washington Fair. So we have a bunch of different people headlining that. It brings in 20,000 to 30,000 people, so
Wow.
that is an incredibly busy week. And but honestly, it's amazing the amount of people that it brings in, and also the community gets together. We get to have fun. It's a big event, and it is, but it's worth it. Even how chaotic it can be, it's amazing.
It's awesome because these are the events that kind of showcase the community where people
Yes.
can kind of come and get a real slice of what Washington is all about. Let's talk about okay, so if someone were to come to town for the first time, what would you tell them? Like, where do they begin in taking in all that's Washington?
So personally, I would say start on the Katy Trail. Even if you're just walking up a little bit of ways, even if you're not gonna do the whole thing, I think the Katy Trail is beautiful. I think it's a nice scenic walk, and you can sit and just enjoy your time here, the weather when it's nice, and then also seeing the bridge that we have is really always been really cool. And then I would probably make my way again. The Katy Trail is right next to the train. It's right next to downtown, so I'd probably make my way to the downtown area. And there's a lot of boutiques that we have, smaller shops, places that they serve a lot of different things. Like we have a florist that they have everything that you could imagine for gift giving, and then we have a lot of good restaurants, which one of them again is going back to that brewery that serves that German plate, and they're very entwined with the German heritage. They have great food, so that's a really interesting place. And again, you get to see that where they brew the beer as well. So I would definitely recommend going checking that out. There's usually events going on. We do have a visitor center that also holds a lot of, we'll have a calendar out of all the events throughout the month. So I would recommend picking up one of those, checking and seeing what we have. We have a lot of other information down there too, in case you wanted to see where you could stay, what else they have to eat, different places to shop if you're curious for one specific thing. So I definitely would check that out. And then again, I would probably go shop a little bit. We recently also opened it's like a spa, so they have different types of just kind of whatever you need. It has stuff
Uh-huh.
for hair, it has tattoos, it has just like red light therapy, it has a little bit of mix of everything. It has peptides, IVs, so I would recommend checking that if you're trying to be more relaxed. And if you want to go do something more active later, even in the night, we do have a lot of places downtown that do different events, karaoke. They usually have like a New Year's Eve party if you're here during winter. So we've got a lot going on. And of course, if you're here earlier, like on a Saturday, I would recommend going to the farmers market and seeing what they have to offer.
Oh, farmers markets are always fun. You said, kind of the nightlife scene there. Do you guys have like live bands that perform that people can kind of just sit and relax and listen to?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of live music. I know, and they kind of switch up sometimes. In certain places, they'll have live music throughout the night, and then if you'll go to another restaurant or bar, they'll have karaoke. So it's kind of a fun switch that you can go check out. And if you don't want to sing, then just stay at the one where you get to listen. So it's a really good experience, and it's relaxing as well.
Oh, that's fun. That sounds fun. It sounds like a lot of the happening area is kind of that downtown area there. Let's talk a little bit about museums and that kind of thing. Is there a museum that kind of captures the history of the town there?
Yeah, we actually do have like a historical society within Washington, and they have a museum that you can go in and see everything. We also have the Corncob Pipe Museum if you're interested in seeing that too.
Hmm.
Um, but I recommend going to the History Museum of Washington. The Historical Society does a really good job there. And they also have events throughout another one of they also have events throughout the month that are really interesting and they'll go over things. One that I recently saw, I think last month, they had a haunted tour, which is really
Oh,
interesting to me and very cool. So if people, I know people are into that, I enjoy that. So I hope that they come check that out because a lot of towns like ours, like our river, because we're right on the river, we're early settlements. They do have a really rich history and things have happened right here. So it's very cool to also learn about the paranormal stuff as well.
I love that. Ghost tours are fun. I don't know that I would go on one, but there's a lot of them around here, and they are each so interesting. You brought up the just the history, the rich history of the town, which to me that says there's a lot in the architectural area too. Do you guys have like walking tours where people can kind of take all that in?
Yeah, I know that sometimes we do have walking tours. I know also, I believe during wintertime we do have like there's a lot of historical homes here, so people will decorate their homes for people to come in during, this is specifically during Christmas time. They might also have one during fall and summer, but a lot of the historical homes, people will decorate them for Christmas, and you can go in and do a tour of them and see the old architecture, see what it looks like inside. And again, some of these homes were built, so long ago that it's just so crazy to see the architecture from back then compared to now in homes. And then you get to go see it, of course, during Christmas, which just makes the town feel even more cozier, kind of like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the fact that, you have all these different towns in the Midwest that have all these different influences. So you can see all the different types of cultures. So in Washington, there's probably a lot of German influence in the buildings there, which I'm sure makes for beautiful scenery.
Yes, it is. We are very lucky. Our downtown is very beautiful. It's very historic, and it just it's really, even the shops and everything are well thought out in the areas that they're at. So again, it's not like you have to go too far when you're walking from our main downtown next to the river to get food, restaurant, or to get restaurants, to get go shopping, to in any type of entertainment. So you have that availability right there. It is really cool. And again, it is our architecture also helps because it's very beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'm sure another part of that beauty too is the art scene too. What do you guys have in terms of galleries and public murals that art enthusiasts can come check out?
We do have actually, I believe coming up, we've been on the lookout for a new. We're hiring it. We are hiring a new muralist for downtown. They will be adding on because we do have a lot of areas that are already painted. We have a lot of, obviously there's a lot of brick buildings here, so we've hired them to come in and paint beautiful portraits or beautiful pictures throughout the town. So I know specifically one on the main street. There's a huge, it's a massive um, picture, and they did a great job on it. It's down by Oakenfront, one of the businesses here on town, which is also has like winery, charcuterie board. So, and then also has fire pits that you can sit out and you can see that. We also have just different areas where our main street has just a few different paintings. Like it's just Washington, Missouri on the side of one of our buildings, and I know that again, this next one, I'm not exactly sure where they're putting it yet, but I think we're going to continue doing that throughout the buildings, the empty space that we have.
That's so neat. I think that as we, have visited so many towns on this particular program, murals are so interesting because they really kind of help to capture the spirit of the town that people can all come and look at and take in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does. It does a really good job. Also, I think it just helps um, kind of tell a story about the town a little bit
Hmm.
more. So it's very, very fun to have that. And again, it's nice to have. We do have quite a few people here in this town that are artists. We have like Brian Haynes Gallery, the Gary Lucy Gallery, and then we have even like a shop specifically for different creators throughout the area who bring in their artwork and sell it there. So this is an area. I know we were in the talks of creating an art district at some point. So hopefully we'll be able to do that within the next year.
I love it. I love it. Well, we are just getting started on our conversation and explorations around Washington, Missouri. But right now, what we want to do is take a quick break, and then we will be back with more in Washington, Missouri, and Lexi Phelps. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Destination Heartland. Today we are exploring Washington, Missouri, such a neat area. So let's go ahead and bring Lexi Phelps back in. She's Director of Tourism for the Washington Area Chamber of Commerce. Okay, Lexi, we have talked about so much about the history, museums, even ghost tours. Now let's dig into a little bit of that outdoor life, which I know the Katy Trail runs nearby through the area. So, what kind of opportunities does that present for kind of getting out and getting close to nature?
Yeah, with the Katy Trail again, it extends quite far. So I know from here again, it goes through multiple different towns along the riverfront. So a lot of people that I've spoke to who are from neighboring towns have told me about how some people have been cycling the whole Katy Trail,
Oh, wow.
and they'll stay along the route. So I find that a really great way if you're interested in doing something. I know there's one girl who was saying she was going to do that as a solo trip this year, the whole Katy Trail. So I think that would be a great start if you ever want to solo travel. Would be that, and you could do Airbnbs along the way. You get to check out the towns. You can stop in here at Washington and see food, stay and all that, and then head on to the next one. So that's a great way to um, check it out. I know that we have multiple other parks, if not just the Katy Trail. We have
Uh-huh.
like Lions Lake is actually right next to our fairgrounds. That's one of our more popular areas, but it's beautiful. It's really nice. We have a lot of people. They'll do something like they'll take pictures there. They'll take graduation, prom, everything. It's a beautiful area. And then if you're looking for something else, I know a little bit. It's you would usually like it's a little bit further out, away from I guess from the main downtown area, but there's also Shaw's Nature Reserve, which is beautiful. It's connected to the Botanical Gardens in St. Louis, so they do a lot of work out there. They do a lot of fun stuff there, and it has so much acreage just to hike, and especially whenever I know spring is past, but spring is just beautiful, and so is fall. Those two seasons are amazing because they have just so much foliage out there. So I would definitely recommend going there as one of the outdoor opportunities because it is so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, the scenery, I'm sure, is like second to none out there. You also have a lot of rivers nearby in the area, too. I imagine that you can do a lot with that, too. Do they do float trips, fishing, that kind of thing in the area?
Yes, yeah. Even out here on this river, a lot of people, there is like a boat ramp in Washington, so you could put your boat in, and a lot of people go downstream. They'll go to sandbars, they'll camp out, they'll float that, they'll swim there, and then other areas include, I think there's a few accesses throughout. I know Merrimack is relatively close to here, and a lot of people float that one too, and there's a lot of campgrounds as well. So I definitely think that that is a great opportunity for anybody who wants to get outdoors. I think again that is very fun. The Merrimack is beautiful. And then there's other rivers, like I said, like the Purvis River that people float and they'll fish that as well. So anybody who wants to be outdoors this summer, those would be great areas. And again, this area is really nice.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Do people camp out there too? Are there places for camping?
So there are state parks nearby that you can camp at. Robertsville State Park is an area that's in between Washington and the next town, which is Union, and so that area, a lot of people camp there. I remember camping there as a kid as well.
Hmm.
And then again, Merrimack State Park, it's a little bit further, but it is another area where a lot of people will go camping. They'll stay the night there, they'll float. They have all the options, so it's not too far from here. It's probably like 20 minutes away. So I definitely, that area is a really good area to camp for people.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, now let's dig into some fun things here. Let's talk about the food scene in Washington. So, what kind of different foods can we find when we come to town?
We have quite a few different options because we've had just a lot of people come in and want something new. So downtown area, you'll find kind of a mix of different type of food, like wraps. Like simpler food, I guess you would say that you could get if you wanted to be quick. They have really good pizza. We have all those different types of things. Also, there's everywhere downtown you could get a drink stop and get a drink and hang out. We have Oakenfront, which is beautiful. That's more of like gonna be like charcuterie boards and just aged cheese, meat, and also multiple different types of wine from all around. And then we also have Sugar Fire down there, which is just barbecue, like smoked brisket, chicken, salmon barbecue, all those kind of things, which is also one of our popular restaurants that we have. And then we have again a little bit further out of town. We have we have a pizza bar. We have or and I guess this is a little bit on the other side of town, not exactly out of town, but we have it's called Old Dutch, which is a hotel. Originally, it still is a running hotel, but it's also a restaurant. And then we also have Tilted Skillet, which this is their first location, so they have another location as well, but they're really popular, so they're doing really well, and their food is really good. So we have quite a few different things, and I think I already mentioned to you the brewery that we have on Main Street. It has just great food. They have a lot of their stuff is home, like the ranch is homemade, the blue cheese is homemade. Everything is great there. They have a German plate. Even during Lent, I know that they were serving fried fish and different stuff like that. So it is a great restaurant to stop in at. That's probably one of my favorites personally.
So then, with the German heritage there in town, is there a town specialty or, something German that people come to town for?
I wouldn't say that there's anything specifically that they come to town
Uh-huh.
for when it comes to that. Um, Again, we'll have certain things, I guess, at Brewfest, which would be like um, different kinds of. I'm trying to think of what they're called. The sandwiches that they have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know exactly the name, but like Brewfest will have. I know I
That's
can't remember it.
that's
But it's
okay.
very popular. My grandma used to make them. It's very common for
Oh.
people around here to make them still, like with like cooked cabbage or sauerkraut, all those things. So
Oh,
again,
okay.
it's pretty popular. And then I think everywhere has a little bit of different things. So there's no specific things.
Hmm.
And then of course, if you're looking to stay true to, I guess, the St. Louis general area, everywhere has toasted ravioli. So
Oh yeah, yeah, the St. Louis favorite for sure. I always
yes.
ask this too because I love going to a lot of the smaller towns and finding like those special ice cream shops and bakeries. Are there any in Washington that people shouldn't miss when they come to town?
Yes, so we have Birdie's Bake Shop, which is really good, and a lot of their desserts are actually great because they're like gluten free, or they're for people who have alpha-gal, they can't eat a lot of those different kinds of dairy products, so they'll be made kind of like a vegan or vegetarian. But they are fantastic. They have Italian soda there, and they have, different things like coffee as well. But I definitely would recommend going there. And then recently, a new bakery opened. They serve a lot of croissants and different types of bread there. Right now, it's called Unshackled Bread, I believe, and they are so good. Their croissants are fantastic. Their chocolate croissants are fantastic. So
Yum.
I definitely would recommend checking them out.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds delicious, and I'm hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. let's go from dining to shopping. What kind of shopping scene can we find in Washington?
I feel like Washington has a little bit of everything when it comes to that. We do have quite a few, like we have boutiques down here. Again, we have like art galleries that you can buy art from the actual painters or prints. You have we have like a we have like a market down here that has like fresh produce and stuff that you might want, and flowers. We also have a lot of antique stores, which are really nice to go into, and you kind of also take in a little bit of everybody around here. That's like where they got these antiques. It kind of just goes with the smaller town vibe. It's really great. And then also we have like our Four Seasons florist, which again you'll find gifts for pretty much everybody. And then we also have multiple boutiques and everything. If you're looking for something to wear that's super nice, or even just dressed down a little bit, we have all of it. So we do have a good shopping scene.
That is awesome. And, so when we talk about small towns, the other aspect that's big, of course, are the seasonal events and festivals, which we already talked about a few of them, especially the Old Town and Country Fair, right? So what are some of the other ones that kind of bring people to town?
We do have one coming up soon, actually. I believe it's Sunset at the Riverfront. We've been having some work done downtown, so it's more accessible for people, and it was time for it to be for construction to come in and just stabilize some things and make it look a little bit nicer, and landscaping and everything fix that. But yeah, Sunset on the Riverfront always brings in a pretty good amount of people. And again, I know we just had that art and wine fest, but that also brought in quite a few people from surrounding areas as well as St. Louis. And again, it's another one that's pretty popular. And again, you get to try a lot of the wines from all around here, so it stays local, but also it branches out to the different areas that do have wineries around here besides just us.
There's so much happening there, and it seems like it's year round. So all these different seasons capture all these different events, is how I'm understanding this.
hmm Yeah, no, it definitely does. I know in fall we will have and again another like a fall festival. We'll have that coming up, and so we do have quite a few things throughout the year. I think it's just good. We enjoy having the community around, and also being able to, have something fun for people to connect again. So we do have a lot of events going on, and that is something again that we pride ourselves in.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And if you had to pick, I always ask this question, and then I'm always told this is the hardest question. So if you had to pick, what's the best time to come to Washington?
Yeah, that's really hard actually. um, I don't know. I really love springtime because a lot of things are blooming, and also our Parks and Rec do a really good job of making it beautiful and having a lot of, flowers and making the landscaping look nice. So I enjoy springtime around here, and also the weather's kind of perfect to grab a coffee and go for a walk on the riverfront. But that's where it comes in the difficulty, because also fall right on the riverfront is
Yes.
probably one of the most beautiful times because all the trees are changing. You get like, again, you grab a warm coffee and you just walk around, and it's like the weather's perfect. Feels so good. It's so cozy, especially after summer. It feels like it's slowing down a little bit, but it's just peaceful. So I always recommend fall.
I love it. Well, it sounds like Washington is a place that you can come visit year round. Well, Lexi, I really want to thank you for joining us for today's Destination Heartland.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And that does it for this episode of Destination Heartland. Hope you had so much fun exploring Washington, Missouri with me virtually. So until our next trip, I'm Sharon Chen with KCTV 5 News.